Da-na-na. This
We
is
need we need a British one as well.
what's the British one sound like?
I don't know. No, wait, that's fucking France. How did I get that wrong? Oh my god, I started doing the French national anthem. Oh,
You're a terrible
if any
citizen.
other Englishman had heard that, I'd just been torn to shreds. Just sacrilege.
Well, I
Shut up.
guess we all know who Alexis Ajinka is going to sign with
That's it.
after he's done with me.
The inside track.
Um,
Okay, sorry. Go on.
we're here with Adam and Commissioner Ian, and we are going to talk some basketball. And in addition, we have a couple hot topics. One of the biggest hot topics is player options, and I think we should just dive into it. What are you thinking? There's sort of two prevailing opinions on the whole thing, and that is that the player options were sort of created in order, like they made the contracts inflated to make up for the upcoming season, so that they would take their player options, and I think that's a bit of a leap. I think any player in the NBA would decline a player option in general, just because. Why not? Is really the only players I could see keeping them would be like Paul Pierce, like the aging guys,
Yeah.
and people that are just absolute garbage, or people that have gotten hurt, like Webster on my team. He's out for the season, so obviously he's going to take that free $4 million. So
hmm
it's
I,
sort
th-
of
I think the drama around it though was that I mean specifically you guys on your previous podcast you were talking about Walt's team with Bledsoe and Favors that have the player options and whether or not they would leave, and you guys were saying like yeah they'd totally leave. Um, and so I saw that controversy in the thread afterwards with Walt posting and stuff. So I went and had a look at what I said to the player agents in our player agent section when off-season free agency was starting last off-season, and then I had a look also at the admin announcement section where I was announcing it all, and then there's stuff also in the OSFA section that's like anybody can see, and like the advice for last season started off with saying big name free agents. Like I think, good lord, what's that? Are you okay, Jeremiah?
yeah, just dying a little bit. Don't worry about it.
I thought you got eaten by a lemur. The big name free agents. The plan was that okay, yeah, they might sign for 1 or 2 years, and or like I think DeMarcus Cousins, they would just get an absolute ton of player options, which I think we should probably stop from happening in the future because that's getting a bit ridiculous. But more pertinent to what was going on with Walt and his Timberwolves, Favors and Bledsoe, those kind of second-tier free agents. Those player options that are in there are indeed there if those players think they can get more, and then they can opt out and get more. But whether they could get more is still kind of up for deciding, because it's a ton of money they'd be giving up if they did opt out of those deals. So I think it kind of goes both ways a bit.
See, with
Hey, James.
Who's this?
Hey, guys.
James K.
James K.
Welcome.
Hey. We're
Um,
getting a lot of echo and feedback from someone. Has someone got their like speakers on or something?
I think that's Adam. Adam, you got speakers?
Yeah, let me try to fix it.
Okay. All right. I think one of the biggest things that I wasn't necessarily saying that they would leave. I'm saying that they will opt out. The same way that LeBron James is going to opt out of every player option that the Cleveland Cavaliers give him.
Yeah.
It's just, why not get an extra year on the end of your deal? I mean, it's just dumb. Yeah, because he'll give them that same contract with an extra year in a heartbeat.
And if the cap keeps going up, then the money that he's going to be offered is only going to keep going up, I suppose.
Especially
I think it's the added stress, isn't it? of people that have these, players with player options.
Uh,
Bit
I
of
have
uncertainty
this one
involved.
concern I have about these opting out and rejoining the team that like Jeremiah you keep suggesting. I think it's actually going to benefit the team because the cap hold will be the most recent salary, right? So
Yeah.
in the case I keep using Walt, but in like the case of Derek Favors, instead of having his next year's increased salary of 19,000 counting against his cap, he'll only have the 17. So he gets an extra 2 million in cap if he opts out and resigns.
I'm just trying
Yeah,
to think the fact that I
I
don't think it would have
guess.
occurred to us that we should put cap holds on expiring player agents. I don't think we've done that in the past. I think it's just been an empty salary bracket. We just count it as gone if they opt out.
I think with the player options that a lot of the players they will want to take that 1 year deal or that extra year at the end of their contract. But I think if they're young enough that they're going to get another max contract down the road that might not be as appealing. For example, Derek Favors, if he were to opt out and sign another 6 year deal, hit that 6 year, he's going to be making. I mean, presumably, if he's young and healthy, he would be making way more that year if he were to opt in
Yeah.
in the last year. While Bledsoe is a little bit older, and by the end of his contract, he probably isn't going to command $30 million, so he might actually stay with the Timberwolves if that makes a little sense.
Yeah. That's a lot to think about, I think. I think when it comes to things that it gets that complex, player agents like me and the others, it's good to have you guys as GMs pointing that out to us as and when it's happening, actually. Because there's so many things to think about that are intangibles when it comes to signing players. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
And then you have guys like poor Orlando Magic signed a guy who I don't think he thought was going to get that good that quick, and Fournier is gone, which is unfortunate.
That was
Just
a good signing.
yeah, it would have been even better if his player option had been later, because I don't think he gets bird rights on him.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as it was said in the other podcast, that's exactly why the player option is there, is because if he's better, he's definitely going to opt out and definitely going to get more. But at
Yeah.
least Orlando they've got loads of cap space, they can keep him if they want.
Oh yeah. If they want it to keep him, he can stay around. It's not going to hurt him at all. He can afford to re-sign him, Harris, and get another guy if he wants.
Mm.
The thing with these player options is I think that was it you, Adam, or was it James that mentioned, or it might have been Brian Scalabrine that said that it might be a good idea to make it so all options had to come at the end, except
Yeah,
except
that
for
was.
the rookie contracts, which obviously have the team options in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's the
Adam.
real NBA rule.
And I think we should adopt that. It's just something we've not looked at before as something we should do, but I think it's pretty obvious that we should. Like DeMarcus Cousins' contract this year looks insane. There's 4 player
Yeah,
options.
it's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Kevin Hollis, he actually signed that contract on purpose. He had to give him such a player-sided contract just because he didn't have bird rights on him. So he signs him to this contract here,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden next year when he does opt out, then he has that bird rights and he can get them right back.
I think he does have the bird rights on Cousins, yeah.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have if he if he didn't sign him. I don't know how it worked. There was a reasoning behind it, though. I remember. One thing that Adam wanted to bring up was injuries and some ideas that maybe he had about that.
hmm
What were you thinking, Adam?
I I don't know how many ideas I have though. I would like to discuss the injury system. I feel like the injury system is a little weird. For example, will Kyrie Irving be coming back in the sim tomorrow?
Yes, I've actually put him back on the database now. So
Yeah, that seems a little crazy.
You think? You think it's too premature?
Yeah, I think it's like it's a little bit of a bad system. While it'll penalize people that get the in. Of course, we had this problem with Kevin Love last year, right? It'll
Yeah.
penalize the people who get the injuries at the end of the year, but then the ones that get injured at the beginning of the year, they don't miss nearly as many games in the sim. It seems a little weird to me when we could. Is there a reason that we don't just do a game counter? Like, say, oh, this player missed 20 games, so 20 consecutive games. We could do it consecutively, and then
Yeah.
therefore just take them out of the simulation for that many games.
Yeah. I mean, if we had access to that, then yeah, I'd do that. I think that would make sense.
I have access to that.
Do you really? Where is it? Is it on a website?
There's a website that I've been using that comes out with all of the injuries in the league and the amount of games they've missed, and
Huh.
they republish their stuff every 3 or 4 days. Come out with a new list, and so it's pretty easy to tell if someone's been out for 15 games. I think I posted the list of everyone that's out in the injury thread and put the
Yeah.
games missed of the people who have come back already.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll find. I can grab the website, but I'll post it up in the thread, and I think that it's the system that I've been using, and I
No,
think
that
it
sounds
works
good.
pretty well.
Yeah, I'm open to that.
And it just fixes all the issues because then you won't have people missing game. Like it would fix the issues at the beginning of the season and the issues at the end of the season.
So if on your system, if a player misses like 15 games to start the NBA season, but obviously our season started in mid-December.
Mhm.
When our season started, would they miss the first 15 games? For
Yes.
instance? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and the system would be that where you wouldn't take them out unless they had missed 15 games. So you won't really be doing a whole lot of work because it's pretty easy to tell when someone's going to notice that a player missed 15 games, and you'll know like Marcus Smart just missed his 15th game last night or the other day. And so then you would take him out today, and
Yeah.
then he would be out for 15 games.
How do you measure the
But you could
15?
have any threshold, whether you wanted to use 15 or 20, 25.
Yeah. So when you yeah, okay. Well, if you say okay, Marcus Smart's out for 15 games, and then do you say okay, he's out for 15 days, therefore he's out for 15 days, or
Games. Just do it by games missed is the easiest way to
you've got to
count.
manually tally? But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to manually tally them, but there's not a lot of. There's a list of 20 players that are like have currently been out for 15 games, and only 6 of them have come back so far. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely send me that link because that would be cool. I'm happy to make any changes because it is a kind of, it's not a stringent sort of system. It's pretty sort of ad hoc, and yeah, it's just I'm glad we have it. It's better than when we didn't have any injuries.
Yes.
But yeah, I think your system sounds interesting, so I'll take a look at that.
The biggest thing that the injuries do for the league is that it makes depth more important to have.
Yeah.
If you lose, for example, we had guys that would go out for an entire season, and then the team was really just safe from rating decreases. Was essentially the main effect of it. So the fact that we have anything now is even better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Adam's posted.
Oh yeah, I'm typing up a little sentence to go with it.
Oh yeah, got it.
the Troy Bolton has just unleashed 30, seems like 30 down decreased threads.
Have a heart, Troy. Have a heart. Think about Walt's heart.
He wasn't he wasn't outrageous with any of his lowerings. I thought. I don't know if you've had a chance. I know you've been driving, so you probably haven't. I hope you were being safe and not looking at your phone the entire time. But
No.
um, yeah. So I mean, there's quite a few names on there that probably deserve a looking
Yeah.
at, and people are really active today. They're voting like crazy. It's pretty awesome.
I love the stock watch. It's awesome.
It's one of the biggest sources of activity in the league, I think, and
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see a little more people get involved in it.
Yes. Dan Marley, I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
Get involved, man.
it sucks because like you wanna be like, ah, come on, but then he's a really good GM, so it's like
He is.
you can't get
He's-
too mad about it.
He's quiet, mysterious, and enigmatic.
He's the White Walker, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix GM.
And
I think OKC called him that last year.
it's insane because I mean, you think that he hasn't been on for like a month and a half, and then you look at it and he's been on the last 2 hours.
Yeah, he's on right now. He's
You son of a bitch.
Like he's like scoping things out and seeing what guys he wants to target, and
He's just waiting.
I know for a
Plotting. Sorry, go on.
interesting thing that happened the other day was the his JaVale McGee that we were talking about. He might have to trade a bunch of stuff to get away from that contract. Well, JaVale McGee just exploded the other night for the Dallas Mavericks, and looks like his legs might be finally healed. And
Did he have a good stat line?
he did. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can't pull it up. But
What was
I mean,
what was the special? We gave like a special title to Charles Barkley at one point. I can't remember what it was.
exploded. You mean when he scored 10 points and 5 rebounds, Jeremiah?
for someone who hasn't played in like 2 years, that's pretty good.
Exploded.
Oh, let me see.
Like Derrick
JaVale.
Rose is exploding for the Bulls.
We need more Shaq than the Fool.
Yeah.
So I see that Klay Thompson says that he's the best shooting guard in the NBA. Does anyone here agree with him?
Yeah, he could be.
I wouldn't say he's outside of the top 3.
It's not the worst, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like him. Like
Yeah.
I don't care for him like as a person.
You'd rather have Jimmy Butler and James Harden, right?
No, I don't like James Harden either. The shooting guards,
There's not many of them.
I don't like any of them. I don't like Dwayne Wade. I think he's a douche. As far as players, I mean, they're all great players, but I just don't like them. Kind of like Steph Curry, you have to give the respect, but he's sort of a cocky jerk. Seems like when
Yeah.
they were like,
DeRozan's pretty cool.
Who?
No, DeMar DeRozan.
yeah,
Oh,
but he
yeah.
plays in Canada. He might as well not even be in the NBA.
He just
One thing that I will say is that the NBA TV schedule has been a joke this year. I do not care about watching Grandpa Kobe run around playing pickup games when I could be watching the Golden State Warriors set records that just blow by previous records.
Well, they're still giving Lakers prime time over there.
Oh yeah, it's annoying.
It's nuts.
They do it just based on market. Like they had a bunch of Knicks games scheduled, and it was just as likely that they were going to be terrible too. And it just happens that they haven't been.
Yeah, the Knicks are great.
Yeah, so it's sort of weird.
Well, it's Kobe's farewell season, so I know that ticket prices for. So I saw the Raptors here for $8. I saw the Heat for $7, and the tickets to the Lakers game are like $180, $190.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, imagine how much that game would be over in England.
Oh,
The
damn.
last Kobe Bryant game would be 1,000 pounds.
I'd have to sell my liver or something.
I mean, you'd have to go, right?
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
You just have the one kid or the two kids?
Me? I don't have any kids.
Oh.
I just said I'd sell an organ, a liver.
Sell somebody else. Sell a relative's kids. There you go.
Yeah,
Easy.
okay.
Easy.
They got, they got good organs.
they got way better organs than.
It's what we do here in England.
Oh man. So we've got. What do you think about? You were gonna go over something that you thought you were gonna put on the media center, just sort of a fun analysis of the league.
Yeah, maybe I will put this. I don't know. I was thinking of actually copying it up there now, just as a basic guide, so you guys could see it as well. Maybe I'll put it in our private message. Hang on a second. I'll just reply to it now. So, Ian guide. Hold on. I don't even know where I was going to go with this, but I just find it kind of interesting to break down the teams in the league into sort of groups. Because there seems to be sort of, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 6 pretty distinct groups of teams. And you might agree or disagree with what I was thinking with them. And what I was going to do is actually rank them. So we've got like the tankers is the first group I thought of. And the teams I've got in there are Atlanta, me, Boston, Memphis, New York, Orlando, and Utah. Those teams are clearly tanking. I can't. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty
No,
obvious.
we're going for the championship.
I don't know if Orlando is going to be very successful. They have a few too many pieces there, I think.
Actually, you know what? Blake and Sam Bowie in Orlando, they well, I mean, they at least always say they're not tanking, but their lineup might think otherwise because I mean, actually, they got some good players in there like Gobert and Valanciunas and Tobias Harris and
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. So
Glass
yeah,
point guard.
but I mean, both Valanciunas and Gobert are out injured at the moment, and they're not doing well. They got who do they have as center? Is it Joel Anthony? Who is it got? Like, somebody terrible.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Joel Anthony. Oh dear. But that's because they didn't sign anyone. Although I don't know where Blake's been. He's been AWOL. Come back, Blake. But then, and I was just trying to think who's the most tankering of the tankers, and Jeremiah, it's got to be you, surely. I mean, you had the worst record last season. I'm actually amazed you didn't break like an all-time NBA record for losses. But apparently there was once a team that was worse. So yeah.
It's looking like the real life 76ers might
Yeah.
beat me this year. Holy smokes.
They might make a late run for the playoffs later in the season.
Well, I have a lot of guys on my team that I thought were going to end up. I didn't think that Kevin Garnett would deserve a lowering this quickly. Like, he was already lowered last season.
Yeah.
And, like, he's terrible. He's only playing like 10 minutes a game. And
Payne's looking really good behind him, though, when he gets the start.
oh, yeah.
I tried to trade for him, and Ian wouldn't take it.
Shut that shit down.
I mean, Mitch McGarry for Adrian Payne, that's not a bad deal.
Mitch was top of my list, but I think I'd rather I'm really attached to the draft picks that I make. I just get stupid attached to them.
Trade me Embiid.
Yeah, okay, guys, yeah. This has been on my mind all day because I was driving for it. Is that Mr. James K here, who's in the chat with us? He offered me Julius Randle for Joel Embiid, and I have said no so far. But
I don't know, Ian. I'd maybe take that.
But that picture of him.
Yeah, once I saw that picture, I was like, yeah, Ian's not moving Embiid.
Yeah.
It came out just at the wrong time. You should have offered it 3 weeks ago.
You should have offered it when, like, Joel Embiid drinking 100 shots. And then should have come the offer. Then I would have been maybe like, yes. But then he went and posted a picture of him looking like Dwight Howard with Hakeem skills. And it's like, Maybe I should keep a hold of Mr. Embiid.
There's a couple other guys that I thought would make a little bit of a leap. I didn't think Marcus Smart would be out basically the whole start of the season.
Mhm.
I thought Myers Leonard would start off sort of where he ended last season, which was as a big with a 3-point shot. Who is
Yep.
typing up a report?
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
On an old-fashioned typewriter, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, really. How old is your keyboard? 45 years old?
I'll try and type quieter for you.
Okay. You don't have to attack it, man. The buttons work fine.
I just feel. Yeah.
If
I
I
gotta
type
convince you guys that Kawhi is better than Paul George. Someone's got to start a stock watch for Kawhi, and I'm gonna take it under my.
I would take Kawhi over Paul George.
Agreed.
I wouldn't this year.
If you were trying to
Wait,
win
do you guys
right
know
now-
that Kawhi is shooting 49% from 3 this year?
No, I
49.
didn't actually. That's insane. That's like Kyle Korver last year.
I know.
Is he like the only person on the Spurs that's shooting better than like 28%?
He might be, because Danny Green is shooting, I think, negative numbers. So
Yeah.
He's-
He's really kind of been a no-show this year. Danny Green has. I mean, I think we all know that he'll probably bounce back just based on. He's been a very good three-point shooter. That's the only thing he's done, other than that and his defense. He's the prototypical 3-and-D.
Steve Kerr, if you couldn't shoot a 3, you might as well not be alive. I remember Charles Barkley saying that. The real Charles Barkley.
I thought
So-
Myers Leonard would be like getting his boost up to like the 77, 78 range, and that just hasn't been the case. So it's kind of frustrating, but
When he got drafted, I thought he looked really, really good because he's super athletic, really huge, but he's just not gotten any minutes really wherever he goes. Maybe if he had loads of minutes, he'd produce, but
well, he's gotten some time now that Aldridge is out of the picture, and the weird thing with him is that he came out as a freshman. When everyone, including himself, knew that he wasn't ready, but his family was having some sort of financial problems. Someone was sick or something, so he decided to declare. And luckily, the draft that year was just garbage, so he was able to get drafted relatively high. So obviously, he's not hurting for money anymore. But
I feel like
James,
Memphis.
what are you doing? Oh my god.
I feel like Memphis isn't the worst team. I think that New York might actually be worse than them.
Yeah, you might be right there.
They literally have nobody. Like they have like Rodney Hood, Aaron Gordon, Markieff Morris, and then the rest of their roster is just complete trash.
Brandon Jennings is out for a long, long time.
I mean, he's been playing rehab in the D League, and he's been looking pretty good in the D League games he's been playing.
does New York have his draft pick?
Yes, New York has a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, he's got 3 of them this year, including his
that's
own.
good.
He's
That's
set up for some good future right there. I don't think we took that into account when we did our little futures rankings things. That we did last time.
So I think New York is the worst, and then you're the second worst, and then I would put myself at third, pending this Whiteside bump that will probably get my team over 15 wins for the season.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Even tanking teams in real life get better than 15 wins most of the time. We take it to a new level in D5.
Yeah, no one's. So the highest rated person on my team right now is Miritic, right? And then when Whiteside gets his bump up to like 80 or 81 or whatever, then I'll have a over 80 person that makes it so I don't think I'll be able to get Ben Simmons unless I win the lottery.
Well, I mean,
That's my turn, surely.
I was the worst team last year, and I got it luckily. And Ian's been at it for several years and has not been able to get it.
How many years have you lost? Have you had the number one pick and lost out, dropped out of the lottery? Ian?
Just the last 2 years, but 3 years actually, 3. But I can't remember what happened in 2013. That was a long time ago. You know what? I was just gonna say, I was just having a look through the draft rights, and there are 3 teams: New Orleans, me, and New York, and we own 1/3 of all of the picks in the first round this year. There's 3 teams who own 10 picks, which is 1/3 of the whole draft. It's amazing.
It's annoying. I remember last year you had half of the first round, and New Orleans. I mean, he's gonna have to start doing something with some of them picks. He's ready to make a leap, and you can't draft 45 people to your team. Like, I'm sorry.
Hey, Josh just sent his email in the message if you want to invite him, Jeremiah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But I think that then after me at third, I would say it'll be a tight race between Atlanta and you, Ian, for fourth.
Yep.
Of course, injuries I feel like can derail any of our seasons. To just 1 or 2 players will immediately make us the worst team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have Embiid although Exum is not really even a plus at the moment, is he?
Yes.
So yeah, Orlando probably goes on top of that group of tankers because he's not trying to tank. They actually have a pretty good team, actually.
Would you take Julius Randle for Exum?
No.
Really? Really?
I don't know. Maybe I would. I'm really. I don't know. I get very protective.
Oh, I do not want.
Because imagine if Exum turns out to be amazing, and I don't know. I mean, if I had Randall and I gave you a healthy player, then I'd have 4 players who have had ACL tears in the last 2 years. Which maybe that's my destiny. I should go for it. I'll give you a healthier player. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad that you followed your heart this draft, Ian. And oh, hey, Josh.
Hey. Let's wait till he actually has sound.
But yeah, I'm glad that you followed your heart this year, Ian, and took Jarian Grant so high.
Yeah.
I know that screwed you over with the Levine Exum pick that you made, but
Levine.
Yes, because I remember you were wanting to take Levine instead of
that
Exum
was-
there, but
I
you
should've-
took Exum instead.
Yeah.
And so everyone thought it was crazy when you drafted Jarian Grant in the top 10, but he looks like a top 10 rookie right now to me.
No, I mean, I would, like, going back to my draft board, I think, I mean, I still would have taken Exum probably. But, I mean, I think I kind of balanced what I thought with what the NBA scouts thought, and that's what you kind of either, I mean, you might do well from that, but you might not as well. And yeah, that's what I did with Jaren Grant this season. Also, I thought, you know, it would be a bit interesting if somebody actually reached that far. And yeah, although I was really on, it was either Willie Cauley-Stein, Miles Turner, or Jaren Grant. It really could have been any of the 3.
If I had Jarian Grant on another team, I would trade Exum for him, no question.
If you had Jaren Grant, you would trade Exum for Jaren Grant. Okay, right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that we have sort of. I think when you're doing the draft, you have to put your own thought into it. Otherwise, it's not as fun. Like, why did you even?
Yeah.
And it looks like I sort of just did what everybody thought I should do. But, I mean, there was a real 50-50 between me taking him and Porzingis, because you just have that allure of, what if he's Dirk?
Yeah.
And Dirk was the best dynasty player for the longest time. Like,
Yeah.
so
I wonder how he's doing this year, actually.
he's doing pretty good, Dirk is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ageless, just like Duncan.
He's like a fine German wine.
Dirk's got himself some secret number juice that's making him just go on a superhuman tear.
And
So, just loading up the game so I can have a look at his stats. And I
When-
can read them off.
when JaVale McGee played the other night, and he played reasonably well. Chandler Parsons also had his best game of the season. And I think that might have an effect on what he's able to do moving forward. I mean, you have he had, I think, 16 assists or something stupid like that.
Huh.
And that's the kind of center he's been playing with like his whole career, and with Dwight and all that stuff. So
He went 16-7-7 last night against Memphis.
I don't know what game I'm talking about. It popped up on Hoops Rumors.
You guys are 100% right about Dirk, by the way. I'm just logged onto the game and had a look now. He's averaging 31.3 points per game, 9.3 rebounds per game, which is good for the sim because the rebounds are down. 4 assists per game, 2 steals, and 1.67. Well, so 1 and 2/3 blocks a game. Still utterly beasting, ridiculous. I don't know, like what? Have we ever decreased him? I can't remember.
Yeah, he was a 92. We decreased him to the 88
Yeah.
that he is now, I think.
Insanity.
Yeah.
He's third in the league scoring behind Steph Curry, who's averaging 34.8, and Russell Westbrook on 31.8.
Those are both pretty reasonable stats, especially because Russell Westbrook gets free reign to shoot as much as he wants.
Yeah, well, God, on our D5 Kings, it's just him and Lillard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Lillard's averaging 27.3 points per game, so that's like they're averaging roughly 60 points per game between the two of them. Wow.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Cool.
Only just. You're pretty quiet.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, having some technical difficulties over here.
Well, we right now have proof that both Adam Collins and Josh Barber are not the same person.
Technical problems. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm on Billy King's computer right now, so.
That's funny because I'm on that computer as well.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, goodness. But if Chandler Parsons, 16-7-7, if that can be his averages, he at least doesn't look completely terrible like he has these past 2 seasons.
I see Glenn's getting a bit worried about. Oh, Jeremiah, what's going on? Jeremiah's opening a packet of chips in the microphone. Stop that.
This is it all. Oh, is it still making noises?
No.
Okay.
You have
It's so matter of fact. No.
All right. So what is Glenn getting worried about?
Parsons. He posted a new trade block with Parsons and who is it? Let me have a look.
Like T.
Bucks.
I think he says
Jeff T. Why did he put Jeff Teague up there? He's alright.
Because Jeff Teague isn't that good.
I always thought he's a bit overrated by Atlanta's run last year.
Yep.
But he's still like one of those, almost all-star point guards. He's just really
So
good.
that puts him at like the 16th best point guard in the league or something like that.
Yes, maybe it does, yeah.
We are in the golden age of really, really good point guards. So I mean, if you look at it, there's like 10 guys you can argue for being the best point guard in the league at any point in time. Like it depends on what stretch of weeks you're talking about, really.
Mm.
Just how good various people can. What are you talking about? Where it's talking about Parsons? Where's that at?
Trade buck. The
Wow.
Bucks trade buck.
Oh, okay.
Shall I go on to the next group I had on my thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the second group, which I think you guys can see I've posted to you, is the not tankers, and I guess we can kind of. Well, no, I find these two interesting because these guys, they're both brothers. They both had high draft picks this year. They had D'Angelo Russell, number 2, went to Washington, and Porzingis went to Cleveland.
They're brothers?
They are brothers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they've both. Neither of them own their draft picks, which is not their fault. It's from previous GMs messing around. And fair enough, I guess. What they've done is they put Porzingis and Russell on their benches and then decided to win as many games as they can this year, which is fine, I guess. I
You
mean,
might as
that's
well screw up those draft picks for the other team before you go into full tank mode the next season.
yeah, it's like these guys have got incredible patience, I think. Or maybe, I mean, they can still do a lot of trading anyway, even though they are in a bit of limbo. But
The Filipinos love basketball,
they do.
so I think they'll stick around.
They will. They will.
The Philippine national team was surprisingly competitive in the last Olympics. I mean, weren't going to win, but they were fairly good with.
Yeah, they
their-
finished second in FIBA Asia this year to China.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for the Olympics, Eric Spoelstra coaches that team.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, he's Filipino.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. I mean, imagine there's probably a lot of Miami fans in the Philippines, but that's probably because of that.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah,
must be, yeah. And
yeah,
Jordan Clarkson fans.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson's going to play for them next year. I think he's got a contract to play for their national team until he's 33.
Whoa.
Well, if you remember, Andre Blatch played for them.
Yeah,
in the
he still
Olympics,
plays for him. Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome.
they got a couple good players, but really no one that's NBA ready. I watched a lot of FIBA Asia this summer, and the only real player over there is the guy. He's actually been showing up on draft boards for China. Is Zhu Qi, and he's like 7'5" or something like that,
Yeah.
and really tiny. But he can like shoot it from anywhere, and he can block shots. And I think he only weighs like 200 pounds though, or something. But he's a later round. Like I will be drafting him if he falls to me around 2025.
Yeah. I
He
think
might-
you look
he
at
might
him.
not declare this year. He's a little. I think he's only like 18.
I've not seen any of his highlights yet or anything.
I watched him just absolutely dominate Blatch and the other Filipinos in the
In the FIBA.
that championship game. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so these two good teams, I mean, yeah, they're just kind of in limbo a bit. And it's kind of a shame because their rookies could absolutely kick ass this year and just pad out all their stats.
Go for Rookie of the Year.
But if they're sitting on the bench, then it's almost certainly Rookie of the Year is going to be Towns because Okafor is on Minnesota and they share the ball a lot. I think they don't. He doesn't have to be their go-to guy for every possession. Whereas Jeremiah, if you don't have the Rookie of the Year now, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I'd be very surprised.
I think he wins it in real life too. I don't think that
Yeah.
Okafor has as well-rounded of a game, and I mean, if Towns was only scoring like 8 points a game, yeah, but he has all that. He's the complete package. He's just amazing.
Part of me, when it comes to Porzingis, part of me is too cynical to believe he is as good as he is performing. I kind of feel like so many people booed that pick when it happened in New York, and
Because New York is terrible fans.
they got, well, fussy fans, which is fair, fine. And like Phil Jackson is one of the few guys who operates around the league who has probably quite a lot of power as a person in the league, and he would have the power to say, get the ball to Kristaps and give him more of a role to sort of absolve any kind of observed sort of mistake he might have made as a GM. That's
But
the kind of
it's
cynical
working.
thing I think about. But yeah, he does deliver, doesn't he? He is that good.
Yeah.
Like that would make sense, but like his team is winning because of it, and it's not every day that you get a tall, skinny Euro guy that isn't a complete wimp.
Yeah.
When I mean, it happens all the time. You get these tall, skinny European guys, and then like Bargnani's one of them, and that just come in and they're just not they're not tough enough to do it. And when he gets a little bit of body on him, I mean, his frame doesn't look like he's ever going to be like 300 pounds or nothing, but he gets a little bit more strength to him. He's going to be dominant if he can maintain his current trajectory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I went to the Knicks game when they came to Charlotte this year, and I mean I was surprised by how big Porzingis was. I think he was matched up against Kaminsky for part of the game, and he just made Kaminsky look small. I mean Porzingis is tall, he's broad-shouldered. I mean that guy has an NBA body. He just needs to kind of develop into it a little bit more, and he's going to be dominant.
Yeah.
I think
Commit-
you need to stop bragging about your cheap-ass NBA tickets.
hey,
I'm in Cleveland where we have a contender, and it's like $35 for nosebleeds.
Charlotte's a contender too, in my opinion. I think they're a top 4 seed in the East easily this year.
That,
I
that
think
doesn't
Charlotte's
mean
better.
anything.
I think
Well,
Charlotte could beat Cleveland on a good
Tumbleweed.
day.
They're not gonna beat them 4 times.
Yeah, not 4 times, but they won't get swept like they did last year, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, Chicago's looking like they're pretenders. They haven't played well at all. I haven't thought.
The reason Charlotte's doing so well, is because they got Lynn and Zeller has just been playing out of his mind. But even when Zeller's not in there, they just move the ball so well. It's really good. I didn't think that Clifford could have them move the ball so well, but they've been running a lot of plays.
I think outside of San Antonio, maybe Golden State, I think Charlotte has probably the best bench in the league. I mean, the bench comes in and just outscores people every single night.
Yeah.
Is that because Michael Jordan only hires people who are mediocre, though? That's how I see it. I don't know.
Spencer Hawes got a 3-point shot.
He's had that though.
Yeah, he's always had that.
It's just kind of inconsistent.
He's a weird dude too. Like,
He's been hitting it this year and looking good.
the thing is like their bench doesn't look anything like the Cleveland bench once they get their guys back. Like you have Dellavedova is looking like he's pretty good. He's gonna be on the bench. And then
You'd rather have Dellavedova than Jeremy Lin?
Yes,
That's crazy.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Lin can't play
Lin is
defense.
That's insane, dude. Jeremy Lin is very good.
All right, he's not that good.
We need a Photoshop of a picture of Alima making love to Dellavedova.
No, I mean, if you think
I'll work
about
on it right now.
Yes.
But the bench, like you take Dellavedova and Mo Williams, who are currently starting for the Cavs, move them to the bench, and then that bench is just scary as far as just the versatility and the things that they can do.
I'd be surprised if Cleveland were not back in the finals this year. That would be pretty bad for LeBron's legacy.
Well, considering LeBron has been to 5 straight finals now, I mean, I think it's almost just like a ride-in every year that LeBron's team makes it to the finals in the East.
Yeah. He's amazing. So, back on track with my thing. The next group has 8 teams in it, and it's the biggest group. And these are the teams that I think are kind of... They're not tanking. They're not going to be utterly useless, but they're definitely... I don't think these guys are contenders. And I don't know what kind of order to announce these in, but... so I would say... Josh, your Nets are sort of an in-betweeny team. I don't see you guys contending yet, but you've got lots of good pieces there. Detroit, Charles is Houston, and let me see if I can pronounce it right. Gajni de Marlins, Detroit?
Ah,
I don't know.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Larry Bird's Pacers, the Magic Johnson's Lakers, Brian Scalabrini's Pelicans, the Kings with Mr. Julius Photoshop didn't deliver Irving, and and J.R. Wiles' Spurs I would not put in the tanking category. He has actually got a kind of promising team there, I'd have to say.
I think with the in-betweeners, you basically just have to make they all have to make a decision on what direction they really want to go.
Yeah, and sometimes I think GMs here at D5 they kind of, I mean, maybe they choose to decide to go and tank a bit too easily. Like Philly's doing at the moment, and that's no criticism of him, because yeah, if you look at his lineup at the moment, there's question marks all over it. I mean, the players have got good ratings. Bosch has got a good rating. Al Jefferson's got a good rating. Montel has Ty Lawson, but none of those guys, they're not going to be.
They're all on the downswing, except
They
for
are all on the
Bosch.
downswing. Yeah,
Bosch is still doing well.
yeah, but he's had his health issues and he was off all the last season and stuff. And I think like I don't know, maybe we as GMs rely too much on our lineups and we live and die by who's in the starting lineup and things. Too much, so that when 2 or 3 of our players start to, diminish in how good we think they are, then all of a sudden we feel like we've got to go and start tanking. Whereas in real life, probably, if the Sixers had that team, they would not go and start tanking. They would fight it out for at least a few more years, I think. I mean, I would assume. Unless Sam Hinkie got the job there as well.
Yeah,
That's because this is a game and real life is a business.
Yeah, true. There is that difference.
Well,
but I mean, would it be more sensible, I'm thinking, for the Sixers to not tank, to keep pushing? The East is still not as strong as the West, I would say.
I mean, if they can move some of those guys for some pieces that are gonna be good, I mean,
they don't own their pick this year.
His cap space is not ideal.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. They don't own their pick, although they do own Washington's, and Washington sucks.
That's true, but that doesn't mean that you also have to suck in order for that pick to get better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Charles' team, I feel sorry for Charles because of what happened last season. He lost a lot of talent.
Yeah, what's going on with him, Jeremiah? I feel like he's kind of disappeared here recently.
He's been busy. I know he was taking his LSATs, which is like a lawyer test thing to get into law school. So I know he's been doing that, and he's actually been working and stuff. So I mean,
not good enough.
Yeah. Where's the dedication?
Prioritize D5 over career. I know I do.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what he's where he decides to take that team though, because there was a point when he first got into
with it.
When he first got into the league, there was a point where every other week he was deciding to either tank or go for the championship, and
yeah.
Then adding injuries to it really sort of eliminated Derrick Rose as an effective
and Kevin Love
player. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be trading both of them and then tanking. At least that's what he told me.
Really? Okay.
He doesn't have his pick this year though, so he might as well.
No, he doesn't.
But I mean, there's no reason he couldn't trade Kevin Love to somebody for a bad contract and one young guy for someone one of these contenders,
I feel like well, I'm just looking into the old 2015 Executive of the Year thread that I posted back in July or August, and Chuck kind of played a pretty big role in that actually when he moved Eric Bledsoe, and like when he got a hold of Tyson Chandler and Kevin Love and stuff all in one trade. That was a fantastic trade, and I had him on my list of guys who was, shortlisting for the Executive of the Year at that time and things. But then he sat on it too long, and he lost players to free agency.
Yeah, and
lost an episode of free agency.
He's got some alright pieces. I think Kyle Singler's sort of been a letdown for him, but
He's been a letdown to everyone.
Yeah, he's got a whole mess of drafting stashes though that could very well end up being quite good.
Yeah.
If they work out.
True. Pacers, tell you what, I'm glad I've got their pick this year. I own the Pacers pick. I don't know what Larry is doing with that team at the moment. It's a bit of a mess, if I have to say so, I'm afraid. Sorry, Mr. Bird.
Um, he's got sort of a weird situation going on with that team.
I like his players, though. I like a lot of them individually.
I just feel like, where's this team going? It seems a bit all up in the air. What's going on there?
I have their second round pick. I have a bunch of second round picks actually.
I like Eric Gordon. I wish if like those player options weren't there, that'd be a really good contract for him. Bazemore is obviously playing really, really well this year.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis is my favorite sleeper pick. But yeah, other than that, I guess he doesn't really have anybody at all.
I think what he should do is just sort of try and ruin the draft pick for Ian, and then then you make the move next year. I mean, he's got a whole mess of like grayed out guys that he cut, and to make room for his rookies and various people that he signed, and it's just a weird group of guys.
Yeah. My next team in this group is the Lakers. And they're not too bad on paper when you look at it, but
that Dragic for Kimba trade is looking good so far.
Yeah, it is. It's surprising actually.
Mm-hmm. They're just waiting for the slow release of death by Kobe Bryant retiring.
Just think, I mean, if he had, do you remember he used to have Kyrie Irving on the Lakers?
Did he?
And this season he would have had Kyrie and Kobe expiring, and then obviously Kyrie would become the face of the franchise after he finished that. But yeah, that was like trade of the year when Alex English won. Was that when Alex won Executive of the Year?
I'm not sure. I don't remember Lakers having Kyrie Irving ever, so that might have been the year before I got here.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
He has Bruno Caboclo, the Brazilian Kevin Durant, the guy.
2+2.
He gets added to every trade that is made in the league, and
yeah,
he's been, because it's so like he has so much potential value, but no one's ever actually seen this guy play. I know I haven't, except for maybe like a couple games in the summer league, and it's just he's a weird player, weird prospect to have on your team at any point.
I think if he was going to be good enough to be anything like Durant or Giannis or something like that, I think he would be playing games by now. It's been over a year, hasn't it, since he got picked?
Yeah,
it was 2014 when he got picked.
But the reason that Kevin Durant got to play so much is because they were full-blown tanking. And
Durant was also a college star, whereas Caboclo no one had even heard of him on draft day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drafted him, and people were like, "What?"
Yes.
He was drafted the year that Cleveland took Bennett, wasn't he?
I think it was 2014.
Yeah, I think 2014.
Oh, okay.
I will say, Caboclo in NBA 2K15, and he was decent in there, so maybe there's some hope for him.
2K15, that's how we decide who's good in real life.
Caboclo's got pretty good stats at the 905 right now.
Alright, so who's the other team that's on this list? I got
Pelicans, but Pelicans are pretty good. It's just, I don't know, I just don't know that they're contenders yet, but...
no, I don't. I think even he knows that they're not, and I do think, however, that they are in one of the best positions in the league.
All those picks.
Like if you were a new GM and
a nude GM.
If you were a new GM and you came in and all the teams were available and you had the first pick of all the teams, this would be the team you'd pick.
I think Denver might give you a run for your money there.
In terms of having
Denver wouldn't be any fun.
yeah, you just got to leave Denver alone.
New Orleans will have all the fun.
I mean, he can make whatever trade he wants. He has the trade pieces to get
Oh my
almost
God.
any player in the league right now.
Nobody's got more picks than the Pelicans. They've got this year. They've got 3 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. Next year they've got 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. The year after that they got 4 first-rounders and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 second-rounders. It's nuts.
Yeah, I traded them my pick in 2018, which was probably a mistake.
If I was, you know what? If I'm Mr. White Mamba, I would wait until the draft is happening, and then those draft picks go up in value so much because everybody can see the players they want available and stuff. But anyway.
I know me and him, we were talking. He was like, because he's trying to move those picks. They're in his trade block. I know I was talking to him about getting a couple of those picks for Moutier. And
You're not a fan of Moutier, are you?
I am a fan. I was a fan of Moutier, the Chinese connection.
You were.
But he is looking really, really poor. I've watched the Nuggets 6 or 7 times, and I mean he's a good passer.
He is. He's quick and he's tall.
He's a rookie point guard in the West, on a surprisingly competitive team. I don't know what you don't like.
I mean, he shoots like 30% from the field.
Yeah.
Didn't Russell Westbrook shoot terribly his first year too, though?
It wasn't like, it was like, because I like looked up because people were like, "Oh, John Wall did terrible his first year." John Wall shot like 43% or something like that. Like there's a big difference between all these other great players rookie year and Moutier so far.
It's amazing to think of how long I spent.
If Moutier, hit me up for prospects and stuff.
Yeah, I might do that. Because I like him. I just think that he's limited. I think he's limited. His shooting is off, obviously, and he's pretty turnover prone. But he's got the confidence and stuff. I mean, that's what Exum does not have. Kind of the frustrating
He's not very
thing.
aggressive, Exum.
Yeah, he's not. But I tell you what, Exum, when he was in the summer league this year, when he got injured, that was when he suddenly started becoming aggressive, and he did for a few games, and then tore his ACL, as usual.
I mean, if you're a member of the Boston Celtics and you're not tearing your ACL, what are you doing?
It's just basically a requirement. So the next team I've got on this list of in-betweeners is the Sacramento Kings.
Vlade really screwed that situation up when he traded all of his picks.
Yeah, it was just a bit of an off-season mess, really. I know for a fact he, regretted making that trade with me, but I can't, do the trade back again because that would break my heart. So, and it was a bit of a mess what happened with Marc Gasol and stuff in the off-season. That was the hugest controversy ever. I mean, that thread had more views than the entire rookie draft did the first year we had a rookie draft. I feel
it doesn't look terrible. Like, in a position that he could make, like, if you were in a slightly better position, he could trade Russell Westbrook to you for that pick back. Like if you were ready to make a step or something.
He's got bird rights on both Lillard and Westbrook, and Westbrook's coming up for renewal this year. I don't think he needs to worry too much because, I don't know. We'll see anyway. We'll see how he does. But if he could re-sign Westbrook, then his team is on the right track basically, because Westbrook's obviously one of the most valuable players in the entire league. And those two players could maybe take them to the playoffs even or something. I don't know. But they're definitely not a contender.
And he's got cap space too. It's not like he can't get another guy to play with them. I mean, I would want to play with Westbrook and Lillard. Why not?
Yep, absolutely.
You'd never touch the ball, but
God, yeah, he's got 35 million coming up this season, so he's got loads of room. Last team is the Spurs, and they are pretty good actually. I think this year they could be a lot worse. They got lots of players that are kind of, you know, borderline.
They've got
really,
control
really
of
good.
those players too. It's not like he's ready to lose many of them.
Yeah, and I like how I think JR seems to have changed his tact with how he's GMing, and he's hanging on to a few players more than he's going to get rid of them and stuff. And he seems to be actually, putting the right ones on the trade block and things. And he's got his pick this year as well, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's the wrong year to get it together, really. Of those in between
Who's
is
making all
that.
that noise?
Sorry, go on. What?
Josh, mute yourself.
Oh, what happened?
You're
Josh
making
is
a lot of
enjoying
noise.
this too much.
Yeah, who do you do
He's
over
getting
there?
too excited. He's muted.
There you go.
Do you guys want me to keep going through this list? Because that's like
Yeah,
halfway through the league. Okay. So the next group I've got is those teams that are kind of newly qualified to call themselves potential contenders for the championship. So let me see. Actually, let's go through this in the kind of order I would want. I would say the least likely of these four teams, although they're all new to the game really in terms of contending, the least likely is probably the Suns. But they got Kawhi. Dragic is obviously nosedived in real life, but he's got a rating still here, and if that won't get updated immediately, so they won't do too bad. Whereas Levine is really, performing at a level that I wish I had drafted him still for. And they got, well, Randolph's on the bench from Memphis a lot of the time there now, isn't he? But yeah, anyway, so least likely of all of these four teams, I would say the Suns are kind of newly improved contenders. I mean, certainly this time last year, even though they did not look like that, and I was eyeing Kawhi Leonard thinking they would not be able to re-sign him, but they look like they're getting it together for that purpose anyway. Your thoughts?
I think you're correct that that four-group team that Phoenix is the worst of them. I'd also I'd put Charlotte there too. I don't think Charlotte's really able to take that next step yet. I think their fate is tied with Wiggins, and it'll be a little while until Wiggins gets the boost they need to really take that team deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
But
So yeah, I would say that of these four teams, the third one, yeah, you're right. I would say Charlotte. Although I'm surprised they got rid of Mike Conley recently, but I can see why he did it because of his reasoning. But yeah.
I would say Minnesota is looking pretty well. They made the playoffs last year, and now they have Bledsoe.
And they got Jaleel Okafor. I mean,
yeah,
the way that Walt turned around his team last year, I was amazed how well he did it. Because I mean, when I was looking at his team last year, I thought, okay, they're long term, still going to be locked into Love and Rubio. I mean, they can't pull off like a decent rebuild now, particularly, but he did, and it really looks promising. Like he could easily be, pretty good seed in the playoffs this year in the West, even. Although we do have a lot of contenders out west.
I think Dang and Favors and Carroll should get a point or two boost for his team.
Well,
And,
Bledsoe maybe even as well. He's leading the Suns, and the Suns aren't doing too bad.
Yeah, Bledsoe's been really, really good this year.
Yeah. He's really like I remember when he was at the Clippers and with Chris Paul and those two. I remember just reading reports about how those two, Chris Paul and Eric Bledsoe, used to go one-on-one a lot, and Bledsoe used to win plenty of the time. Which you can totally see he's really that good. Oladipo's kind of taken a bit of a downturn, which is surprising. I didn't think he would, but he's benched this recently anyway.
They used to have so many talented players in Orlando. I think it's just hard for them to develop guys. Like they really need to make a move and send some guys away.
Yeah, it's just team construction there. Oladipo just doesn't fit next to Peyton.
You don't think?
If
I've not
both your
watched any.
guards, if neither of your guards have an outside shot, then you're in trouble.
Oladipo's not so bad, is he?
I don't want either Peyton or Oladipo shooting the ball from three
You
ever.
definitely do not want Peyton, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I'm just looking at Basketball Reference. Oladipo 3-point percentage is 27.5%.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
good.
And Oladipo has not been as good on defense as advertised either. He's been about league average according to all of the advanced stats.
Hmm. So the top of this group of pushers, I'd say, might be the most exciting team in the league at the moment. And I just realised I've made a little mess of their salary chart on the league salaries database. They've got a missing line there. But everybody loves the Toronto Raptors at the moment. They look really good. I think they've got like players that are kind of just slightly, you wouldn't call them franchise players, but they're all really, really solid contributing players at the moment.
Like
Kyle
Toronto
Lowry.
in real life.
Well, yeah. And Lowry started the season off pretty, I don't know, iffy, I'd say. But then now him and DeRozan are doing well. Kyle Korver's just a solid small forward. Stick him in there, will get you open threes. And Draymond Green is obviously amazing. And now he's got Al Horford as well. But
Yeah.
maybe he's put himself in a bit of a Houston situation here because Horford's expiring. And, although he does have quite a bit of cap space next off season.
He does, but Lowry's going to opt out too.
Yeah, Larry's got player option, and he's definitely opting out of that. But he's obviously got his bird rights, hasn't he?
Yep.
Okay, so those are the kind of new to the game contenders. The kind of perennial contenders is the next group, actually. I'm going to skip the middle group that we have there on our thread. So, of the perennial, obvious contenders, we've got the Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Clippers, Milwaukee Bucks, who I suppose the Bucks are kind of still new to the game, but since they were first in the East last year, I guess they're not now. Oklahoma City Thunder and Portland Trailblazers still in the mix, even though they won it 2 seasons ago. Do we need to describe why these teams are good? Because they are amazing. I do wonder, in D5, whether actually, it's not even worth asking the question. It just is a fact that the gap between the best teams and the worst teams is much larger than in the NBA, even though you've got teams like the Sixers in the NBA.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how bad we've allowed ourselves to get. 'Cause, 3 out of 6 of those takers is in this podcast, and I think that when you look at the contenders, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are in the Western Conference.
Wow, you were right.
And that's when I was going to go back to Charlotte. There's no reason Charlotte can't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
Charlotte
true.
and I don't think that they can beat Milwaukee at the moment. But, I mean, they're a hop and a skip away from going to the finals every year.
Yeah.
They have all that cap space, and all they have to do is re-sign Reggie Jackson. That's going to leave them with $20 million left after that, even. And he's so far drafted very good. So I mean, the top of the East is very. That's why I like Brooklyn and Detroit and Indiana and those teams. They're not going to be in the lottery because they're sitting up in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, half of the tankers are in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. That's why you got your advantage there, Jeremiah, being in the West.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like actual teams out here. It's it's a great time to be in the Western Conference because by the time I'm making my move into the Charlotte range, uh, Golden State will have lost a bunch of players. Denver will probably have
Yeah.
some guys on the downturn, and
Something worth talking about, I think, is the fact that, I mean, Golden State obviously are the most, I would say, the most dominant team at the moment in D5. They won last season and stuff. But Dwight is not improving. He's clearly,
Dwight sucks. He's been overrated forever.
well, he certainly is now. And then you got Jamal Crawford. He's going downhill. Pau Gasol ain't getting any younger. So nothing lasts forever, really. And yeah,
well, one thing I think the Golden State Warriors gentleman Chris he needs to give me a big attaboy for. I fought for that Pau Gasol rating because I knew how good he still was.
yeah,
And the fact that he didn't get lowered all the way down to an 80, I think, was a big part of the reason why his why his team was able to be that dominant. But I mean, he's got some young guys. I mean, if he wanted to trade a young guy and one of those big contracts for somebody, I mean, there Steven Adams and somebody for an extra an extra player. I mean, who knows? And
I
with
think
with the
'cause
new
he's got-
cap.
yeah.
Like we put the hard cap on and these new cap holds and stuff. Cap holds, I mean, that's going to prevent some of these teams from reloading in the way that they've done in the past, and I think that's going to be the big thing that helps.
Really, that was what made Golden State, because they got to re-sign Steph Curry, and they got to sign Dwight before Curry re-signed and all that sort of stuff. That's how they became so dominant, and that's why the cap holds are in.
Yeah, and I think if you have Dwight on another team and then some of these other like Los Angeles Clippers, they wouldn't have the bench that they have right now if the cap holds. So it's going to even out. It'll be harder to tank in the future because there's just going to be so much talent there.
Yeah, I agree. Clippers, I really like the job Mike Krzyzewski has done with the Clippers. He's just Mr. Dependable is the word for it, I think. Just year in, year out, he just shores up his team, and he really invests in his players and stuff, and that matters when it comes to free agency and things. Those sort of things are not forgotten by player agents. The fact that he invests for so long in the same players.
Yeah, and it's a shame really because I mean he's sort of like always the bridesmaid, never the bride to Golden State. And his team's just as good. I mean, it's not like his team is like, oh, Golden State Warriors are so good and they haven't beat anybody. Because you're looking at the Clippers and the Nuggets right there, and they're both very, very talented.
Yeah. Alex got a bit unlucky last year when Kyrie went out with injury. Yeah, it was Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul George injury as well last season. Otherwise, I think, although, did Paul George come back just for our D5 playoffs? I think he might have done it just in time.
He did, yeah.
But I think Alex's team has not really been at full strength before when it comes to the playoffs. So it'd be interesting to see if he can keep that together this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to wonder with Lopez, George, and Irving. I mean, those three guys are kind of injured a lot, so it might just be unfortunate for him again. But as of now, I mean, his team's looking good. Paul George, I think, has a ratings threat up to be increased. Harden, I mean, he's not having a great season, but he's not going to be decreased. And then Irving's coming back today, so we'll see how it goes for him.
Yeah.
He does own the worst contract in the league, though, with someone that needs. I don't know. Does Josh Smith have a stopwatch thread up yet?
Yeah, he's gonna get. I actually wrote it down. He's gonna get lowered to 75, 77 range.
Ouch.
That's not that big of a drop, though, especially because
It's,
you got
it's
Ryan
not that
Anderson.
big of a drop for a player that just sucks so bad.
Yeah, I mean, well, what I've actually done is I'm doing something for Walt in exchange for me telling him his players are all going to leave. Is is I've gathered up. I'm going to make a post about it. Every single player thread that we've had outside of the ones that were posted by Troy today. I wrote down all the votes and I'm going to post them in one big thread similar to the one that he has up already. Just because I know the amount of threads that we've had to start the season that's just going to take some time, and if he can just do the ratings updates and stuff, it'd just be a little easier
That
for him.
that would be very helpful because he's been doing all the rookies as well and creating all the players. It's been really helpful.
So I'm going to post that up here. It probably won't happen right away because my brother's trying to get on the computer, but it'll be up before tomorrow sometime.
Cool. So the other contenders I've got are OKC. I'm not sure much more you can say. I mean, he's about OKC. I think he's actually grabbed two really good rookies this year. He got Larry Nance Jr. and Terry Rozier, I absolutely love Terry Rozier, and not just because he's from the Coast of Celtics, but I think he just looks amazing. He looks like Damian Lillard or something.
The only problem with that is that they have 45 point guards, and he's gonna have a hard time getting it. I don't understand what they've been doing with that.
OKC in our league has 45 point guards as well. They've
No,
got Trey
yeah.
Burke, Aaron Brooks, Ricky Rubio, Tim Hardaway Jr. could play some point guard.
Yeah, it's very it sucks because I mean, especially for like my player Marcus Smart. I mean, he's gonna have a hard time getting back into that rotation. I think because they're playing well, and he's been out for 15 so games. I mean, what can you expect to even happen? There's too much competition. He'll play 15 minutes a game.
Yeah.
No, nah. Dude, Marcus Smart's too good. He brings too much to that team.
You're talking about your team. He's saying Mr. Dellavedova is giving him that much competition.
No. I'm talking about Boston. They have all those good point guards. Isaiah
Sorry.
Thomas. So for his development, like I want him starting and playing the whole game and taking a bunch of shots and having a terrible field goal percentage, and then gradually improving that offense, and hopefully that works out. But Brad Stevens is a really good coach, and he's making it a run for it this year. But Matthew Dellavedova, I just want to bring something up that we talked about earlier. I just put up my player comparison of this year for Dellavedova and Jeremy Lin. And Jeremy Lin scores more, but they have the same field goal percentage, whereas Matthew Dellavedova shoots 44% from three. Jeremy Lin shoots 32. Lin only gets a couple extra, or he gets a lot more free throws because he drives more. But Dellavedova with almost 3 assists more than Jeremy Lin, and I think
every time Dellavedova's near. Continue, please.
And I think if someone's taking a point guard and they want someone who's gonna be legit, I take Matthew Dellavedova.
What's the minutes per game on both of those guys? Since you have it pulled up open.
It's per 36 minutes, but Dellavedova is 28 and Lin is 25.
I don't know. I've watched a lot of Charlotte this year, and Lynn's like he's a good player.
Yeah, he is like no turnovers.
So Dellavedova has less turnovers, and he's like double the assists.
Take your facts and truth and get out of here.
His defensive Dellavedova's defensive win shares, like for a while there, he was leading the Cavaliers in assists off the bench because they weren't even starting him at that point. So, I mean,
I am surprised by how good he is, to be honest.
Me too. I didn't even
and
think
he's an
he'd be that good.
Do they have a hairstyle comparison in there? Because I'm pretty sure Jeremy Lin takes that one.
Oh, easy. Have you
I
seen it, Ian?
Yeah, I
What?
was at the game where he put his hair back in the ponytail, and he and Spencer Hawes both had like the same little ponytail at the same time, and it was so funny.
Like Jeremy Lin looks like a Dragon Ball Z character right now. His hair. For anybody that wants to see, I'm gonna put it over this little chat thing on the right. It's
Can you
absurd.
do that?
Yeah, there's like over on the right.
Oh yeah.
I'm reading here that Jeremy Lin is in the 99th percentile in the league when it comes to points per possession on cut when he's cutting to the basket.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It's because Spencer Hawes and Frank Kaminsky are just such good passers that
Yeah, they
work
have good
really well
passing
with him.
bigs. They have good passing bigs on that team.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Frank Kaminsky, like if you just look at the stat line, he's been like doing shitty this year, but they just kind of like ignore him on the offensive end of the floor, and like his shots like don't seem to fall that well. But he's actually got like really good. He's like really quick, and a lot of people were worried about his short arms, but the only thing that those have been affecting is getting out to the 3-point line. I've noticed that he'll run out to go defend them, and they'll just shoot right over him while his arms are all outstretched, and you can just see that if he just had 3 or 4 more inches on his arms, that he would be blocking all those shots. Like I've seen it multiple times. It's sad.
And for a big, I mean, he's shooting pretty good as a rookie from the 3-point line, 36%. I mean,
That's what he's there for. He's a very sort of all round offensively
I think
talented guy.
oh my god!
What the hell?
I'm looking at Frank Kaminsky's thing, and it says Spencer Hawes. It's an article. It says Spencer Hawes is calling the shots on Jeremy Lin's hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he looked like Spencer Hawes that one day.
He looks like an idiot. Oh my god, I love it.
Is that? Did you just send the link through? Let's have a send
Yeah.
it again. I
Oh,
missed it.
okay. There you go.
Is there any way? Oh, we should just. Oh my god, that's a terrible haircut.
Then they go down. It looks even more ridiculous. All right, guys. Well, I've got to get off here pretty soon, and I'm hosting. But I wanted to, if you guys wanted to start up another one afterwards, or if you wanted to keep chatting or something, that's fine too. But I got to get going, and appreciate you guys showing up for the podcast and
Thanks so much.
proving that Josh is not in fact Adams Collins, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes. All right, everyone have a good one.
Thanks, Kai. See ya.
All right, bye.